Well, good evening, everybody.
Good
Happy
evening.
Thursday night. It seems weird to be saying Thursday night because we normally do this on Tuesday nights. So we just want to thank you for allowing us to adjust our schedule so those that wanted to see the presidential debate were able to. And my name is Tracey Flintoff, and I'm coming to you from the Seattle area. And my absolutely awesome co-host, Cami Brecco. Cami, ready to do this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. Well, we have got a little different format for you tonight. So we've decided to start helping always have an intro on this amazing technology, but now we're going to add in a new component called Deep Dive. And we're going to have a different topic each week. And today's Deep Dive is going to be on pain repair. So that'll be further in to the PowerPoint. So you'll notice something a little bit different. So just bear with me 1 minute as I share my screen with you. And I'm getting a weird message here. Okay, there we go. All righty, there we go. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is a wearable light technology, and it allows you to activate and utilize your own low-level light. And it is called X39. It's by a company called LifeWave, and it is an amazing little wearable phototherapy product. You can see it right here on my neck. And what we're talking about with the smart new technology is how it enables our bodies to repair itself, as our bodies were really designed to. You know, way back in the day, we didn't have pharmaceutical companies and stuff. So the body has some innate abilities, and this just allows them to operate at a higher level and do some pretty amazing things like turning back the hands of time. But before we get started, we want to share our disclaimer that LifeWave patches are considered a holistic wellness product in the FDA arena. And Cami and I are not medical professionals. So we're not going to be diagnosing or treating, and we're not going to be addressing any specific medical conditions. You always want to consult with your doctor with any issues you're dealing with. And we hope that you'll find this information tonight informational and helpful, but again, not diagnosing in any way. But I just wanted to go back a little bit in time and look at some pretty genius people in our history. And Albert Einstein, he was the father of modern physics. And his very famous quote was that the future of medicine would be based on frequency. And frequency is really a wavelength. That can be a wavelength of sound or light. And Thomas Edison came along a little after him, the inventor of the light bulb. And I love his quote, and it's doctors of the future will give no pills, but will focus on the cause and prevention of disease. So pretty genius. And I think that's what we're going to be playing off of tonight is the genius of these two men have gone down in history as pretty great. And the genius of David Schmidt, the owner and inventor of the product we're going to share with you tonight, is right up there with their level of intelligence. But the reality is practitioners have been using light for thousands of years. And you see here a variety of lights and infrared sauna, laser, MRI technology. It's all light. And it's very powerful and does some pretty great things. So I'm going to turn it over to Cami, and she's going to walk you through some pretty great things on this new technology.
Awesome. So I get to share my screen next.
Do you want me just to do the slides for you, Cami? Oh, okay.
Ooh, look at me. Woohoo! We're figuring out technology, friends. So here we go. Is everybody that's loading? There we go. Does everybody see that okay?
Yeah, I see it.
All right. Okay, so what we're talking about tonight is technology. It's a wearable technology that is body heat activated. And what is in this patch We wear it for 12 hours on and 12 hours off. And what is in this patch is a wearable, it's a crystal, a man-made crystal. And the only reason for it is that it takes your body heat and reflects it back at yourself at a frequency. And when your body sees that frequency of light, your body makes its own different peptides that are super helpful for your body. This is a patented wearable light technology. And we have a website that we will direct you to where you can see the patent and read it for yourself. But this is a life technology company. So it's very important to realize that this is not medicine going in your body in any way. And you can read the highlighted parts here. It's benefits of the to the human body, activating our stem cells by increasing the copper peptide GHKCU. So that is what we get to talk about, is this amazing, what in the world is GHKCU? Why is that important? And it has been studied for 50 years. So these bullet points on these next slides have to do with results that they have found from the 50 years of testing they have done on copper peptides. So this is pretty amazing. Sorry, I keep messing with my screen and then they don't advance so great. GHK is amazing for lung protection. Yeah, we have some friend in Idaho who is very thankful for these patches because they are so good for the lungs. And they're really amazing for brain and nerves. So we have some tests that will show you the results of in a little bit about how amazing they are for balancing the brain. They are helpful. GHK copper peptide is very effective in helping your body in the fight of fast growing cells. So again, we're not making the claim that we have a cure, that the patches cure anything. The patches cause your body to make the copper peptide. When this copper peptide is present, these are some of the results that have been found for the copper peptide. So that's very, very encouraging. And it also increases superoxide dismutase. And that is important for helping the negative effects of stress. I don't know about you, but I have a very, we all have stress, right? We all have stuff going on in our lives. I had to have my car towed yesterday. That was a little stressful, but we have tools at our fingertips here in this way that help our body with the negative effects of stress. Whoa, sorry, that advanced so fast. So we're going to be talking about stem cells. So we just said that the patches tell your body to make this copper peptide. When that copper peptide is present, your body releases your own stem cells. So what are those? What is a stem cell? We've heard that word or that term a lot. A stem cell is something in your body that is how we were created. When the egg and the sperm meet, welcome to science class, friends. When the egg and the sperm meet, then that becomes a cell, and that starts dividing and dividing and dividing and dividing. Those are stem cells, because that within those cells, different ones become the brain, different ones become the heart, different ones become the skin, different ones become the fingers. And they're so smart. They know exactly what to do. So this is as we age, when babies are born, they're loaded with stem cells. They're still growing, they're still developing, their bodies are still changing, their bones are knitting together. So as we age, we have fewer and fewer pluripotent stem cells, and then we continue to have fewer and fewer specialized stem cells. By the time we're 60, we have a very small percentage of stem cells active. And so that the faster we age and the slower we heal when we have those not very many stem cells in our body. So what are our options for increasing our stem cell activity? We could do the invasive thing and go out of the country for some stem cells, and then you're dealing with all kinds of expense or ethical issues, and it's somebody else's DNA. So there's other ways that we can boost our own stem cells, and that is by elevating your own copper peptide. So just by wearing this patch, and it's your own body light going into the patch and reflecting back at a frequency where your body goes, I see the light, I'm going to make copper peptide. And that, when that's present in your body's activating your own pluripotent stem cells. So it's patented phototherapy patch. It's reflecting your own infrared light. The general recommended places to put them are based on acupressure points. The C7 you see on the right, that's at the back of her neck there, or a few inches below your belly button. Those are the recommended places for our
below your belly button.
X39. And so then let's share with you a little bit about our friend Marcy. So do you guys mind muting? Oh, awesome. Okay. So our friend Marcy is a dear human being, and I'm so glad she found out about these patches from a friend of hers. So she had fast growing cells. She went through a double mastectomy. She went through chemo, radiation, thought she was free and clear of that nasty stuff, and then it came back with a vengeance. So she, a friend of hers heard about this technology and gave her 10 patches. In the first couple of days, she detoxed out of her mouth. She said she tasted metal. It was awful. And then within 10 days, she started feeling better and better and better. By the end of the 10th day, she said she called her friend up who gave her the patches and said, we have to tell people about this. I feel better. I've got my hope back. And you can see the photos. She just texted me a photo of herself a couple days ago, and she's just getting younger looking and feeling and looking more vibrant. So she's an amazing human being, but what a story of hope that we have that we can share with people about these amazing results. So this is my favorite time of our testimonials or our patching time here. I would love to hear from a couple of you about how your story, how the patches have affected you. So
And I know, Holly, if you'd like to unmute yourself. Holly was going to share hers with us.
I am. Can you hear me?
We hear you and we see you, beautiful.
Hey. Hi.
Hi.
My name is Holly, and I hold on, sorry, I'm recording this myself. I have been living in chronic pain for many, many years. 5 years ago, I had a hip replacement on my left hip, and I had severe knee problems. I have arthritis everywhere in my body, and I was just pretty miserable for many years. And I had the hip replacement, and then I went to Mexico and I had stem cell injections, like Cami was just talking about. I spent $10,000 and I got stem cell injections in my knees, and it didn't really do the job. My knees were still in pain and I was still struggling. And fast forward a few years, my right hip started to go out and started catching and scraping, and I was getting so depressed. And I talked to Tracey, my good friend, and hadn't seen her since high school. And I was sharing with her about all of the ailments in my life: bad knees, bad hands, arthritis everywhere, bad hips, my neck, my back, everything. And she said, "Oh my gosh, girl, you've got to try these patches. They are literally changing people's lives." And so I trusted her. I signed up, I bought them all, and I never used them. Fast forward 4 months, I'm about to go to a retreat in the jungle, and Tracey was coming with me. And we were on the phone, and I told her, I'm really worried about how I'm going to do in the jungle. I'm very uneasy on my feet. I can't get on and off the ground. My hip is so bad. And she said, "Girl, get on your patches." And so I started wearing the patches. I wore them for about 10 days before we left for Mexico for the jungle. And I was shocked and surprised how well I did while I was there. And I'm going to tell you, here we are 6 months fast forward now, and I've lost 30 pounds. I've been doing the gut regeneration. I've been wearing the X39 on the back of my neck, rebuilding my stem cells, and using the glutathione and the carnosine and the Eon, and my life has completely changed. These ice wave patches, I swear by these. I never go a day without them. I wear them on my hip, and I'm telling you that my pain is almost minimal. I've got my life back. I love to say I'm getting my second wind of sexy back. Everyone's texting me, "What are you doing? What's going on in your life? You're aging backwards." My skin is good. My hair is good. My body's good. And it is these patches. And so I'm so grateful to you, Tracey. Oh, I'm getting choked up.
Aw.
You have completely changed my life. And I'm just so grateful and honored to be able to share with the people in my life about these amazing patches and what they're doing for my life and what they will do for yours.
Oh, Holly, thank you for sharing that, because you have no idea how many people you're going to help too. And
Mhm.
that's the beauty of this, is we have to share. This
Can I
company
say
can't
one more thing?
advertise.
One more
Yeah.
thing. I had a hip replacement, I just told you guys, about 5 years ago, and I had a really gnarly scar on my left, the back of my butt and hip. And I just never look at it. I don't want to look at it. I hate it. And the other day I was on a call with Tracey and Cami, and they showed a picture, they'll probably show it to you, of an open heart surgery and the scar and how bad it was after a year of the surgery. And then after 1 month of wearing these patches, their scar was almost invisible. So when I got off the call that day, I ran into my room and I looked in the mirror at my scar that I probably hadn't looked at in over a year. And it is like pencil thin and it's light colored. And my scar is like so different that I can hardly even see it right now. So these patches are doing some extraordinary healing.
So awesome. So glad you finally put them on your body, girl.
I
Because we
know.
know they
Thank
don't
you.
work when they're still in the drawer.
They don't.
Okay, Cami, back over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to hear and meet you and hear your story, Holly. That was amazing. Very cool. Well, we will go back and share my screen. Awesome. Very cool. All right. Tracey, I noticed that she put this in the chat, and maybe add it again into the chat for the people who have joined since since you put it in the chat, Trace.
Okay, will do.
The health tracker is an important thing to just kind of take note. Like Holly just said, you don't know what you don't know about, like, all the wonderful, amazing benefits of these patches. And Tracey has a wonderful story about her bunion going away, but she didn't write down "I have a bunion" on her health tracker. But or "I need a bunion surgery" or whatever at the beginning of her patching journey. But we invite you to kind of think about all of your health concerns, and then and note them as they go away. It's easy to have what I call like good amnesia. In a way, you kind of forget how bad it was sometimes, or forget that as little health concerns start melting away, you will look around and you're like, I'm not sure these patches are doing anything. But when you look at the health tracker and you go back to go, oh yeah, oh, I remember how I felt. Oh. And it's pretty eye-opening that they really are amazing. We have a wonderful website that our friend Marcy has created for us, and this is a wealth of information. So please write this down: startx39now.com. We highly recommend that you take a look at it. And this is a place where you can invite your friends to take a look at it if they're unsure about what the technology is. You don't have to be the expert in it. You don't have to have your own results quite yet. You can say, hey, friend, I just found this amazing technology. I want you to take a look at this. And on this website, you'll gain so much information. And it's a beautiful tool. This is one of the things on there, is what doctors are saying about the patches. I love this one. Dr. Patty de Blasio is a natural leaning doctor, and she has a story about her own multiple sclerosis and how the patches have helped her from the symptoms of that. Also, this is a wealth of information, and I highly recommend, if you're curious or you have skeptical people in your life, please take a look at this. There's more information here than you can possibly go through in one evening taking a look at this website. So good stuff. So this is a study about using the patches that is very encouraging. Remember, we talked about those stem cells going to work and going to repair things. And maybe we feel them, maybe we don't. But this was a study of people, and they took their cardiovascular biomarkers. And they wore the X39 for 6 weeks. And then they took their cardiovascular biomarkers 6 weeks later. And the participants who in this study, 14 out of the 15 of them lowered their cardiovascular age. So they were 8 weeks older or 6 weeks older, but the cardiovascular age showed that they were 8 weeks younger than when they started the study. How cool is that? And this company is becoming, you may be wondering, why haven't I heard about this? It's kind of been the secret sauce in the athletic world for quite a long time. In the top right corner, you see Michael Phelps. He was wearing the energy enhancers when he got his 5 Olympic gold medals. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but he was accused of doping. And when they found out that he wasn't doping, because these patches aren't putting anything in your body, that world record was allowed to stand. And since then, it's just been in the professional and amateur athletic world. And in 2019, the X39 came out, and as the company has just blossomed since then. We are now at $500 million in sales around the world. So let me show you a few pictures. We know some of these people personally, right, Trace?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the top two pictures, the one with the patches on, the one that is a day later, her husband Eric had a surgery on his back. And the Eon patches, you could see them working and taking away inflammation just in one night. You can see that. I happen to know this older gentleman from Idaho, and the picture on the far right is actually him 2 years prior to him on the picture on the left. Now, he was using our famous Alavita patch, not for his skin. He's a 90-year-old farmer. He doesn't, skincare and taking care of himself is not top on his list. However, he doesn't want to lose his cognition and memory. And so he was using our wonderful Alavita patch for those things, but look what it did to his skin. So there's also amazing stories. You can see the patches helping people of all, from all different kinds of ailments and things. The screenshot down in the center of the three ladies, those all three ladies had the same plastic surgery procedure, and the doctor was measuring. The two ladies on the right were wearing the patches pre and post surgery, and the lady on the left was not. And he was estimating by his calculations and where they were that the people who were using the patches took only 10 days to get to the same point that it took the lady who wasn't using the patches 5 weeks to get to in her recovery. So we'll just go quickly through some of these pictures. You can see some pretty speedy healing. And this is that scar remodeling that happened in 1 month. So this is from July 2017 was the fresh scar, and it took 1 year to the center picture. And then the person learned about the patches and started patching. And 1 month later, you can see the difference in just by using the patch. Down here is, you can see some pressure being put on a spinal cord in somebody's neck there. And this is some amazing things that can happen with using our patch. Here's somebody with some curvature in her back. This is our wonderful friend, Dr. Harmon, and we invited him here to the Northwest in April, on April 1st, and he spoke to a big group of us. And he's a wonderful human being, and he has a pretty tremendous story about how these patches have helped him. And you can see a significant, like the man with the gray hair is about a year prior to the man with the brown hair. So the man with the brown hair is older in years, but they're both Dr. Harmon. He's getting younger. So you can see this lady was suffering from pretty tremendous allergies, and you can just see how it's all over her face that she feels better in many different ways. So we have some pretty tremendous, this lovely picture, it only took this lady of the décolleté, her neck, it took 7 months for her to go from that wrinkly look to her smooth, beautiful skin. And that's an effect that I have experienced. You can see hair growth, acne, oh my goodness. Tracey and I were debating that if this was the same person, but I'm like, yeah, it's the same person. Pretty amazing. And so we know that copper peptides speed your recovery. There's many different aspects. And like I said, there's 50 years of research about how copper peptides can speed your recovery in many different ways, reduce inflammation and speed your recovery. But this is pretty powerful. This lady had a radiation treatment, and you can see she's all inflamed. And in 3 weeks, she's looking pretty good. And then look at her in 24 days. That is just amazing to me. This is that brain health study we were referring to. This is one of many images. There were quite a few people who participated in this study, and everybody who participated had positive results. So, and they took older people who had brain health concerns. And so this woman had some memory concerns, and she had a very hot brain, you can see. And within 6 weeks of wearing the X39, the brain scan is much better. You can see aqua is good. Aqua is what we're headed, what is perfect. So that's the more aqua, the healthier the person. And we love to help people with their pets. There is a brand or a patch product called AccuLife that the company recommends that you put on your pets. And we can go, Tracey will go into that in a minute, but we're not opposed if one of your patches happens to fall off of you after the 12 hours and it happens to reach the collar of your pet. You might be surprised, pleasantly surprised at the positive results. And this is a wonderful statement from a professor of molecular and cell biology, professor of chemistry and molecular cell biology. Copper is essential for breaking down fat cells so that they can be used for energy. Now, can you think that might have some benefits for us and our health? We learned from a healthcare practitioner who was using this on herself and had very positive results. So these are just some stories of using these patches and them stimulating the body with light and reducing inflammation, detoxifying the body, and balancing your endocrine system, and helping your body with control cravings. And this is Tracey's bonus daughter. Tracey, would you like to go ahead and share this story?
Sure. Yeah, so my bonus daughter was really struggling and at her largest of her life, not sleeping, anxiety, depression. And I happen to have these patches. I just listened to that doctor and I said, "Hey, Ange, you want to try it?" She'd been throwing up and she thought she had the flu, but for 5 days. And we realized it really was GERD. If anyone knows what that is, it's gastroesophageal reflux. Anyway, put these 4 patches on her. The very next day, she stopped throwing up. About day 3, she started sleeping. She couldn't get over it, but 18 days later is this picture of her in her little skinny jeans. She'd been holding on to these for like 5 years, hoping to fit back into them. This is not really about weight loss. This is about gut health, and gut health is brain health because your brain gets its messaging from the blood flow and nutrients or not. If you're lacking those nutrients, that's when we get the anxiety and the depression and things. So just life-changing for her. She's gone on now to lose 70 pounds. That was her in April, but look at her in December. She's just a different person. So fun to be able to watch and see these changes.
Absolutely. So we share this because it's pretty amazing results. But just want to give you not set you up with a false expectation. Now, this gut regeneration is amazing and it's wonderful, and it does all the patches when we go through them will explain why they tell the body to do what it's supposed to do and activate your liver and help your body to get toxins out. And so it's pretty amazing. But every body is different. And obviously, her body was very ready to get release of some of these toxins. Tracey, would you like to share your own screen, or do you want me to
Yes.
continue?
Yeah, I will, because I've got a whole different,
Fantastic.
yeah, that'd be great. Okay. Just bear with me 1 minute as I speed ahead here and get us caught up. You're seeing all this in record speed here. Okay. So we just want to share with you that we've got 2 patches. If they start with an X, it means they are exceptional because they regenerate the master repair cells of our body. And these are at retail, $149.95 for 30-day supply. We don't want you to buy at retail. We always like people to get the most patches for the least amount of money. We're all about that. So we make these available at our wholesale cost of $99.95 for a 30-day supply. That's the best deal. So the X39, that is the holy grail. That's the one that everybody needs. If you're going to use just one, that's key. But really, to make that work better, we're going to pair it with one other. I'll explain in a minute. The other sister peptide to that is building lean muscle mass. It's helping with metabolism, EMF protection, and bone density. That's X49. That's an amazing one. These 2 together, fabulous. Lots of our professional athletes are using this combination right here. But Eon, that's that other critical patch that we need to get our body's inflammation under control if we're going to have the maximum benefit and allow those master repair cells a chance, because the inflammation can go after those stem cells and eat them. So X39 and Eon together, that's how we have everybody start. Doesn't matter what you got going, we use those. We can use this carnosine, add that, raise your own carnosine. Helps support organ function. If you've got toxicity in the body, we use glutathione. It's our body's master antioxidant, opening our detox pathways. It is incredible. It raises your own about 300% in 24 hours. To give you an idea, if you use that synthetically, putting a little thing under your tongue, the half-life is about 7 minutes. Can't do a whole lot at full strength in only 7 minutes time. The other one I'm going to talk about more in a minute is Ice Wave Energy Enhancer. That's the first one that David ever created. That is burning our fat for fuel. So it's burning an extra 300 to 600 calories a day. I love that one because I love dessert. And but it's the center force of our cells is the mitochondria. It's really fueling up mitochondria. Silent Night is reactivating your own melatonin. You're not taking it out of a bottle. Please don't use those synthetic ones. They really are not that great for our brain. SP6, I love this, especially if anybody has blood sugar issues. Helps curb cravings. It balances hormones. It's another of my faves. So when we're getting a retail patch, if you're buying them at retail, it's $79.95 for 30-day supply. Again, we want you to get a lot of patches so your body can get back in balance. So we make these available for the $49.95 in our wholesale packs. And then down the road, if you're ordering any 3 of these supportive packs, you'll always get them for $49.95. You can mix and match. This is my personal anti-aging weapon. I love this. This is also known as the Trophy Wife patch. So you can get this as a bundle. They call it an Alavita Trio, but you get 2 months of the Alavita patch. You get a day cream and a night cream. And these are really clean. They are 98% chemical free, natural, perfect pH for absorption, but for 150 bucks. As a screaming deal, that night cream lasts me about 6 months. And I love it. It's also anti-skin and does some other cool things too. But how long is it going to take for you to see results? That's the $1 million question. We know from clinical trials all around the world, these work. clinically proven. And every day there's somebody else calling me, thanking me, telling me their amazing story. And I live for those stories. But the first few days you're using them, you're going to reset about 4,000 of your genes to a younger age. That's pretty amazing. That's called being a gene whisperer. But typically, most of us are going to take anywhere from 30 to 90 days, 1 to 3 months, to start seeing some changes. 3 to 6 months, we're getting into that deeper stem cell repair phase. When we go beyond our age, so 1 month for every decade we are old is really how long we should be using X39. That's based on David Schmidt, the owner and inventor, his recommendation. But when you go beyond, then you start getting into that age reversal. You saw Dr. Harmon. He goes from grandpa to hot dude. So pretty cool. So this is the new section that we've added.